So Donald Trump's head of the Office of Management and Budgets, Russ Vought, co-author of Project 2025, he wrote Chapter 2 on expanding executive power, the power of the president. He's a white Christian nationalist and has stated in the past his views on the federal bureaucracy and the federal workforce, basically saying that he wants federal workers to be terrified. He wants them to be afraid to go to work, not knowing whether or not they're going to be fired. Well, he sent out a notice today to all executive branch departments and agencies, telling them to prepare for a massive reduction in the federal workforce to take place on March 13th, which is the day before a government shutdown, unless this House and the Senate pass a funding bill. And so this is the next phase. Trump, Elon Musk, and Russ Vought, they know that public sentiment is turning against them. They all saw the coverage of the Republican town hall meetings last week. Republicans going home to their heavily gerrymandered red districts and being confronted by Trump voters, Republican voters, and absolutely getting their asses handed to them because of the things that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are doing. They know the clock is ticking, so they're putting the gas pedal to the floor because they know they're running out of time. And so on March 13th, there's going to be another massive reduction in the federal workforce. I have several thoughts about this, but first I'm going to read a quote from Marjorie Taylor Greene during a federal hearing today, where she said that federal workers don't deserve paychecks. She said, "The bureaucracy is not a business. Government is not a business, you fucking potato. Those are not real jobs producing federal revenue. They were never intended to. They are to provide services. By the way, they're consuming taxpayer dollars. Those jobs are paid for by the American tax people. Your job is paid for by the American taxpayer. What revenue have you generated for the federal government, Sporkfoot? They're paid for by American tax people who work real jobs, earn real income, pay federal taxes, then pay these federal employees. Federal employees do not deserve their jobs. Federal employees do not deserve their paychecks." One thing that I have noticed in the comments of videos on TikTok about federal workers, whether they're pro or anti, the inbred mouth-breathing MAGA hordes talk about federal workers like every single one of them is Jeffrey Epstein. The absolutely vitriolic hatred that MAGA voters have for federal workers is something that's going to come back and bite them in the ass. One, Black Americans are overrepresented in the federal workforce as opposed to the private workforce. It's long been theorized that federal jobs are one of the main contributors towards building a black middle class in the United States. Two, as I said earlier, a lot of these federal jobs are to provide services for actual Americans. And if those services go away, the lack of those services is not going to affect only people who voted for Kamala Harris. White trash Trump voters are overrepresented on the welfare rolls in the United States, and yet they voted for a billionaire and they're cheering on Elon Musk for firing federal workers. And they wonder why we call them stupid. So we'll see how this plays out.